Today I'm interviewing the lead singer of a band who have supported the likes of the Libertines, the Kooks, Kaiser Chiefs, Liam Gallagher. They're just a few names as well. A band who released a brilliant album this year and smashed their UK tour. I'm delighted to be joined by the Sherlocks. Thank you very much, Kiaran, for joining.
No, pleasure, mate. Good to be on.
Thank you very much. And I'm just going to start off with the background of the band. So can you tell us who the Sherlocks are and the type of music you sort of make?
Yeah, well, currently it's me. Well, I say currently, so it's going to change hopefully. Me, I sing. My brother Brandon on drums. Got Alex on guitar and Trent on bass. We started in 2010, and then Alex and Trent joined in 2020. In the middle of just before COVID really kicked off. To be fair, the previous members, Josh and Andy, just wanted to leave and get normal jobs, which they did. And then I suppose COVID came at it was never a good time, but it came at a good time in terms of trying to get a band back together. And that's what we did. Alex and Trent joined, and we just went straight in and made this third album. And we've not really stopped since then. And music-wise, it's sort of like indie. A lot of people call it indie rock. I suppose that's what we are. Not sure what that is, but yeah.
Perfect. What's the story behind the name The Sherlocks? Is there a big story behind it? Not
really. I mean, Brandon normally tells this story. I can't actually remember it, but there's been a few. One more, we're travelling back on a bus and somebody suggested it or something. I can't remember that, but I think basically, as old bass player Andy used to say really obvious things, and hence the saying, we ended up with the Sherlocks. So don't know, it's not the best name in the world, but it's our name, and it's a little bit too late to change now, so it looks like we're stuck with it.
Exactly, yeah, you've come very far, so no point changing it now. I'm just going to go into some sort of icebreaker questions about the band. These are just your opinions. So who's the biggest diva in the band?
It's a good question, to be fair. Probably Alex or Trent. I mean, they'd say me. Don't know, if we're talking sound check wise, definitely Trent. He's really picky with his sound. He could have a 3-day sound check and he'd constantly be tweaking stuff. But Alex, he's got a lot to do, so I suppose he's got a little bit of a right to be a bit of a diva. But yeah, start changing that set list around and he goes mental because he's got all his board programmed in. So.
Oh, okay. Speaking of sound check, who's likely to be late or miss it one time?
Probably me or Brandon. Not through being a diva, but just, yeah.
Who's the biggest lightweight in the group?
Trent.
Who's the best dancer?
Alex.
And if you could describe each member in the band in 3 words, what would you choose?
3 words for each member?
Yeah.
Brandon would just be, if we're going off his drumming style, would just be off the cuff. Just no rehearsal. I don't even think he's got a drum kit set up at home. He might have an electric drum kit. Don't really spend a lot of time on kit, which it's not a good thing. I keep telling him he needs to spend more time. Since it's his job, you'd think he'd be playing drums a little bit more, but he just goes from gig to gig. And some gigs, especially in festival season, there might be like a few weeks in between. So yeah, that's him. Alex. It's a good question. You've put me on spot. I don't know with Alex. Alex is like the joker of the band, so I'd say, I don't know, friendly, alky, nutcase, just mental. Trent's reserved, professional, rehearsed.
Yeah. What about yourself? How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Legend. Don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. You stumped me.
Talented, that one.
No, I'm not talented. I just do enough for the band. I just do enough for what I need to do. So I'm not the best singer. Definitely not the best guitar player. Alex is better than me at that. Creative, pretty creative, and melody.
Melody, lovely. So the latest album, Everything Must Make Sense, it's blown off the charts, really. What's your thoughts on the album?
I love it, man. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, we say it every time, but it sounds like we're just saying it. But it's honestly how we feel each time we release a record. We are super proud of it, and we do feel like it's his best stuff yet. But no, I think there's some good stuff. I think there's some good ideas on there. I think you're always trying to or I am certainly like trying to do a couple of extra things different to what we've done before, whether it be like certain intros or spoken word or time signatures, key changes. There's so much stuff you can do. And I think our albums anyway, on the whole, they're never, like I said, the Vaccines first record, it's very like concise, and you can tell every song on that album belongs on that album. We've never really been one of them bands. I struggle to write the same song twice, or like even to make songs sound like they're even on the same record. I end up writing a lot of different style songs, and I don't write that many songs either. That's the thing. So if we make a 10-track album, I'll write 13 tunes max, and then we get into studio, and whatever them songs are, we just make each song the best. But yeah, this time round's no different. Similar to last album, I don't think I've finished many songs. None of them basically. Like Here Comes the Rain, 28 finished lyrics off in studio. Loads of them just finishing them off in studio. That seems to be the recent thing. And with that comes a lot of pressure, especially at the end of the session when you're trying to tie the songs up. But don't know. That's just what works for us, I suppose. Yeah.
And yeah, it clearly has worked as well. Obviously, you're growing as we speak as well. You've been compared to bands such as the Cortinas and Arctic Monkeys, I've heard. How do you feel about these comparisons?
I don't mind the good bands. I'd like to think we've got some originality, right? I think people can see that now. I mean, not many bands even make it to the 5th album, especially these days. It's not really a cool thing to be in a band these days. And I suppose it weren't that cool when we started our band, but at least we had a bit of a scene. At the minute, it seems to be one or two flying flag like Sam Fender and stuff like that, but there's not really that much of a scene. So I'd like to think it's coming back. But yeah, them comparisons, I'm happy with them. Good bands.
Yeah, very good. So when you start writing a song, do you normally start with a lyric or a riff, a melody? How does your process work?
Usually a melody, yeah. To be honest, more recently, I tend to write better when I ain't got a guitar in my hand, as far as figuring out the melody and the lyric. I was doing it this morning on my acoustic. I had a melody, and then I sat down and worked it out, and then I was trying to write it as it were coming to me with guitar, and then guitar would throw me off. So yeah, more recently, I'll figure it out. Could be in shower, and a melody comes to you, and you're like, and then you start singing it. So it's always the melody, and then you sort of figure the lyrics out on the sound of the words, I suppose, like what sounds good. Sometimes you can, I think if you do it, or if I try and do it the other way around and shoehorn lyrics in, like certain words sound however they sound. So I have to try and let the melody dictate and then figure the words out after, and that ends up sounding better rather than forcing certain words in. And yeah, it's all boring stuff.
And we're going to go into the live show dynamics now. So how do you decide your set list? Obviously, you've got so many great songs and some just can't make it. How do you decide what songs make it and what songs don't?
It's tough, mate. It's definitely tougher these days because you want to change it around as much as you can and give people a different show. But at the same time, like obviously each record you do, you've got at least 3, if not 4, sometimes 5 singles from an album. And obviously everybody's favourite song is something different as well. So it's just, yeah, it's tough. It's a good problem to have, but it is tough trying to like think set third album, City Lights or World I Understand, Falling. Yeah, I think we struggle, especially in festival season, because we want to play some different stuff or album tracks, but it's sort of like, yeah, it's like, right, we need to play that, need to play that, need to play that. Oh, we've run out of spaces. We're having that problem this weekend, actually. We're playing Shed 7 at Castlefield Bowl, and the set list just wrote itself. And even then, we're missing out 3-4 tunes where we thought they'd be in. Like, we're not playing Sirens, for example, and it's like, I love that tune, and it should be in for me, but it's quite a long song, so it's either you play that, but you end up playing a song less, and yeah, it is what it is. But it's definitely hard, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Do you have any pre-show rituals that you follow at all?
No, not really. Just try and warm up. We have a few beers if we're like on Saturday or Friday. Is it? Yeah, on Friday this week. I'd imagine we'll just be backstage at Castlefield. But yeah, normally when we're touring, we have a walk. We'll find an Irish bar. We have a couple of pints before, not crazy, and then get back. I suppose Alex, he loves a noodle on acoustic or electric. He's got to have a guitar backstage before. That's sort of his thing. And then yeah, me and Trent just warm his voice up for 5-10 minutes, and then get on the stage
and smash it every time. So you played in a lot of northern and southern crowds. Can you finally decide what is better, northern or southern crowds?
I mean, the northerner in me would say northern crowds are better, but I don't think that's fair. I think, yeah, they're just different. I think we've been a band a while now, so like we've been going down to London and Southampton and I don't know, Bristol, Plymouth, wherever, and the crowds have always been class for us. And the more albums we've done, the crowds like come with us and sort of understood our band a little bit better. And I think we've understood like the southern crowds a lot more since going around cities and meeting people a lot more. And it's not that northern crowds are better or southern crowds are better. It's just they're just different. It's like when we went to Japan, there were nobody like going mental, or there were nobody even drinking for that matter. Whereas, like, say, if you go up to Scotland, it's like people just absolutely smashed and just going mental. But yeah, we went to Japan and everyone was stood there, but like after each tune, they're going nuts for us, and just it were more like respectful. So I suppose it's a similar thing with southern crowds. They don't go as mental as the northern crowds, but it's what you like. But we do like our crowds going mental, so yeah.
Have you got a favourite gig that you've ever played?
I think, yeah, we played at Albert Hall in Manchester a few years back, 2022, I think, or 23. I can't remember, but that one nuts. I think it was, unless it was before that. No, can't be. That were good, and we've played Manchester since, and they've been mint. But that gig in particular, I can remember, they weren't just singing like vocal melodies and stuff. They were singing like guitar lines, like going da, da, like the full crowd. And I can remember us all coming off stage absolutely buzzing, like thinking that was best gig we've ever done. So yeah, that was special. Whenever it was, I think it was 2020. When did COVID end?
2021, end of 2021, wasn't it?
So yeah, so it might have been end of 2022, or I'll have to have a look at that when I get off this. But yeah, that was the one. That was a special gig.
And is Manchester the favourite city you've played in before, or is there one city that smashes it every time?
It does smash it every time for us, yeah. But there's loads of favourite. Like Nottingham's always class. we tend to play like Rock City when we go there. I'm a big fan of Bristol, to be fair. The last few times I've been there, just as a city, I think that's like a beautiful city, to be fair. I love looking around there. Crowds are always good. Newcastle's a lot of fun. Glasgow sort of speaks for itself. They're just mental. Then obviously we've got our Sheffield crowd as well. So it's always mint playing. That's like an homecoming gig for us.
Yeah, exactly that. We're going to go into some questions about fans and what the future might hold for you guys. So, how do you stay connected with fans when you're not playing at gigs?
I suppose it's like social media really. Just using that. Instagram Live, Facebook Live. We do a podcast actually. That's every Wednesday at 7:00. We'll speak for like, I don't know. We end up speaking for like an hour. I think the first ones were funny as hell. We used to just do them on like a Saturday night after a few beers, and we had to cut a lot of stuff out. But that's every Wednesday. I think people enjoy that, and that's like a chance to see what we've been up to, a bit of a catch up. But yeah, apart from that, it's just using like social media, I suppose. That's the only way we can. But we don't really like having too much time off anyway. We like to be on the road and gigging, seeing people.
Exactly that. I'm going to go some quick fire questions now. So these are like one word answers. So favorite indie anthem ever?
It's a tough question. Do you know what? I'm going to go with, just because I've been listening to him recently, I'll go with, what's he called? Is it Disco 2000? Pulp. I'll go with that, because I've been listening to a lot of Pulp recently.
Great tune. And they smashed their set at Glastonbury this weekend as well. Speaking of Glastonbury, so what would your dream 3-day festival headline be?
Probably someone like they're good questions, but they're tough. I don't know. It'd be good to see somebody like the Jam. I think that'd be good. Even though obviously can't now. Now Rick's sadly passed, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like them headlining. I'm a big fan of Ocean Colour Scene, to be fair, and I've seen them. We've supported them a couple of times now, but yeah, we'll go with them. And I don't know if they'll get together again. Maybe one day. The Verve.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, I'd love to see them.
He's brilliant on his own, Richard, but that would just be unbelievable. The Verve coming back.
They might do it. Who knows? They might be waiting for this Oasis thing to die down a little bit, but we'll see. Don't know.
What's the first album you've bought?
The first album I bought. I don't know. I can't remember what I bought, but I can remember. Do you remember that band, that boy band, Blue? I think it was Blue. There's a geezer in that of them called Simon Webb, and I think that was the first. That's my memory of the first album I got. I didn't buy it. I think my dad bought it. Me and our Brandon were at a market in Conisbrough, and our Brandon got an Eminem CD, Curtain Call, and I got a Simon Webb. Some great tunes on that, by the way. So I'd have to say that. I didn't buy it, but I reckon my dad probably bought it for about £2 each. I think it was a knockoff.
Smashing. And what is one band / artist that you can recommend me to try and interview next?
You should check out a band called Cusp. They're good. They're from Milton Keynes. Great band. I think, I was speaking to Dan the other day, actually. I think they're just working towards their first album. I'm not sure if they're in studio doing some stuff. And yeah, they're a good band. Got some good tunes. The more recent stuff's a bit like War on Drugs. Some earlier singles, a bit like, I don't know, like Circle Waves and DMAs. Some good tunes. So yeah, check them out. Cusp.
Perfect. Yeah, that's who I'll be hitting up after this. Thank you very much for this, Kiaran. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries, buddy. Enjoyed it. Cheers,
I
Will.
can't thank you enough. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
Nice one, mate.